I remember watching him at a very early part of my career. I don't know if you know this or not, but Bill Walsh came to San Diego in 1976, and he brought with him a truckload worth of tape, and most of them were of Kenny Anderson. And he'd put on the tape on the recorder, and he'd say, "That's the way to play quarterback, and that's what I'm going to teach you to do." Of course, he didn't give me Kenny's athleticism and his ability to run, but I did learn a great deal from watching those tapes of Kenny Anderson. Well, we did play in a couple of Pro Bowls together, and he always took number 14, which kind of pissed me off. But everybody knew about Kenny Anderson and what a threat he was with his accuracy, but also his athleticism. I mean, he was a dynamic runner, especially early in his career, getting out of the pocket, making plays on the run, making throws on the run, which is not always easy to do. So players knew about the greatness of Anderson. And, the thing, I remember a Monday night game in San Diego against Kenny and the Bengals. And I'm standing on the sidelines next to Charlie Joyner, who obviously played with Kenny in Cincinnati. And I watched Anderson complete like the first 15 or 16 passes in a row without a miss. And I just whispered to Charlie, I said, "Does he ever miss?" And Charlie says, "Not very often, Dan." Four times he led the NFL in efficiency. And that's a remarkable number. And I don't, they always talk about system quarterbacks. Well, the system and the quarterback go together. Walsh had a tremendous system. Steve Young is in the Hall of Fame because of that system. Joe Montana is in the Hall of Fame because of that system. I'm in the Hall of Fame because I was part of that system back in 1976. The system argument is ridiculous because the end result is what matters. 4 times leading the NFL in passing efficiency, and a Super Bowl participant is Kenny Anderson. They were great players, but they still had somebody to get them the ball. That whole argument just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, I had Kellen Winslow, and I had Wes Chandler, and I had John Jefferson, I had Charlie Joyner, I had Little Train James and Gary Anderson. I mean, okay, you've got players around you. They're going to make you better. You're going to make them better. That's part of the game. I firmly believe that Kenny Anderson's a Hall of Famer. The statistics aside, you look at the type of leader he was, the style and class that he played with, and the man that he is. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Kenny, having played against him numerous times, always knowing that he was going to give it his very best, and I had to try to match that. Oftentimes, we got into some real shootouts, and it was always a pleasure after those shootouts, win or lose, either side, talking to Kenny after the game and shaking his hand because of the respect I have for a guy that should be a Pro Football Hall of Famer.